I'm going to be completely honest. Doesn't that sound like I'm setting you up for something mean?
Yeah.
Bryce was really good.
Best game he's had all season.
And when you include all of the context, situation, adversity, the mental hurdle or mental obstacle, I don't even know what you call it, mental wrench in the system that is making a good throw and having an interception early, which is what happened when it went through the hands of Tepper McMillan and intercepted. When you take all of that into account and you look at how efficient he played and how he protected the football, I may put it top one in his career. Right? The Atlanta game at the end of last year obviously has more flashy stats, but the stakes were nearly nothing, right? And
yeah, you knew you weren't going anywhere after that game.
You weren't going anywhere, and it was not only were you not going anywhere, you were going to a golf course or a fishing trip or a vacation.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it was a completely different situation. Given everything, it may have been the best game of his career. In a win to bring you up to 500 this late in the season for the first time in years, in a game where you knew that the opposing team had firepower and Bryce Young played really well, but it helps that Rico Dowdle is running like LaDainian Tomlinson in 2006, right? It helps that you have a guy that you can just, hey, we're never going to be behind the sticks. We're never going to be in 3rd and 14. Right? If we just hand it off to Rico Dowdle, it's 2nd and 6. It's 2nd and 4. It's 3rd and 1. Like, that's so unbelievably nice for a quarterback. And it's so unbelievably nice that you can score 30 and outscore one of the top scoring teams in the entire league while having your quarterback not throw for 200 yards. Threw for 199. 17 completions on 25 attempts, 199 yards. 3 touchdowns, the 1 interception not on him at all. Which, by the way, I said this on social media as soon as it happened, and I stand by it. I'd like the joke around like The Office here is if you get accused of being a homer for all 3 schools in the triangle in the ACC, that probably means we're doing our job all right. Right? When UNC fans are saying, you love State, and when State fans are saying, all you care about is Duke, and when Duke fans are saying, why do you love Carolina so much? It's like, you know what? I think we're somehow in the mix doing a good job here. So I've been accused of being both a Bryce Young, like unbelievable supporter, he can do no wrong, and I've been accused of being a Bryce Young hater, that I dislike him personally and all that. So,
likewise.
So I think we're being honest, right?
Likewise, very much so.
But I have observed that those accusations are thrown out online a lot about Bryce. You're glazing him. Oh, you're standing him, which are all some form of like you love that guy. And then, you aren't even watching. You just don't like him. We can identify the unreasonable haters this week. If you are somebody that absolutely hates Bryce, which, by the way, fandom is sometimes that way, right? Maybe you love Auburn. I don't know. But if you absolutely hate Bryce, you're getting on him about the early turnover. Every game, Bryce Young has to turn it over in the first quarter. It's just what he does. Put the team in the hole. That's not his fault at all, right? He made a good ball. He made a good throw. It was intercepted. Context, right? It's different. Now, I'm not saying like, you take it off his stats, right? Because at some point, Tepper McMillan's going to take a ball that probably should have been intercepted, and he's going to make a one-handed catch, and it's going to come out in the wash. But you don't blame somebody for that throw. Bryce, I don't want to say he played a flawless game because that would imply that he did everything right. But what he did was he avoided the big mistakes exceptionally well, and then made the 2 or 3 throws that he had to make to help his team win, right? The Hunter Renfrow closing window in a big moment throw is as good as he could be in that moment. Mm-hmm. As good as he could be in that moment. But when it comes to trying to extrapolate that performance into predicting the future, when it comes to is what he's doing through 6 weeks, is, this little 3 out of 4 winning run that they're on, is what he's doing good enough to instill confidence? I still think there is a part of his game that is missing. And it has to do with volume. When the times your offense, your team looks the best is when you are asked to do the least. That says something about it. If you're beating Dallas and you're beating Miami and the prerequisite is you have a running game that is amongst the best in the NFL, that says something about your quarterback. And I actually, like I said, I think he played ridiculously well. I think they could have gone to him more in this game. Part of it was Dallas has the worst pass defense in the league. Dallas gives up the most touchdowns and the most this and the most that in the league. And he threw for 199 yards. When you got the scouting report this week, if you're a Carolina Panther on the offense, if your offensive coordinator, if your head coach who operates as your offensive coordinator in a lot of ways, is not salivating at the opportunity to have a stat game for your quarterback, that says something. Bryce Young is good enough to win with if you have, a bunch of other things going your way. I still have yet to see the game where there's stakes, where there's a formidable opponent, and you have to put the game on his shoulders. You can put a drive on his shoulder. He's been very good in his career in the last 2 minutes, needing to go 60 yards for a field goal. He's been very good there.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to see them say at the end of the first quarter, all right, Bryce, we're going to need you for the next 40 minutes. We have yet to see that. And until I do, I'm just going to continue to have questions. Until I do, I'm not giving him any kind of contract extension thoughts. I'm not giving him any kind of, place in the franchise permanently moving forward. I love that you now know pretty well against a bad defense with the running game cranking and the defense playing well, he can win the football game for you.
That he can.
But that situation is pretty specific, right? I actually, I need to change. I'll do it right now. Change one of my tried and true talking ways that I talk about quarterbacks. I talk about there's two types of quarterbacks. One is inevitable, and one is situational, right? And anytime walking planet Earth, there's only like 4 or 5 inevitable quarterbacks. And what I mean by inevitable is you can put any receivers out there with them. You put whoever's calling the plays, they'll get you in the right play at the line. Or they'll take a bad play and make it great with their special ability. Doesn't matter what's around them, the offense is going to be solid. Then there's situational quarterbacks, and that's pretty much everybody else, which means there's something they need in order to be good. And that's where, like a Baker Mayfield can struggle some places and look like an MVP in others. All right, well, there's something that other situation is giving him that he was missing earlier, right? He's situational. There probably should be tiers to the situation. How many things do you need? Right? Because you could be a really good quarterback who's just slow-footed. All you need is a great interior offensive line, right? Then as long as there's a pocket I can step up into, I'll be great. Think like Carson Palmer, right? I'm not outrunning anybody, but if I can step up, we're going to have a pretty good offense. Then there needs to be what if you have 2 situations, right? Well, I need a pretty good defense and I need good interior offensive line because even when I'm cranking, I can't expect to score 30. I'll give you 24, right? All right, well, that's 2 situations. Now, what if you're a guy who needs a really good number one wide receiver? So when you panic, you have somebody you can throw it up to, and you need a really good defense, and you need a good interior offensive line, and you need this. What's a 5 or 6 situation? Because I think that's where Bryce is right now. He needs to have a running game that's cranking, so he can have those breather plays and settle down, and the sticks can get a first down to get in rhythm before you start asking him to do things.
Or it's, hey, we can throw on 2nd and 3.
Exactly. You get your first 4 completions knowing if you throw an incompletion, that's fine. Let's pick it up with the run on the next one.
Exactly.
And you need a defense that makes it so. Dallas is a really good scoring offense. They scored 27. Mm-hmm. That's a good amount, but that's not insurmountable, right? You need a defense that's taking even one of the more high-flying offenses and holding them to less than 4 touchdowns. And I do think it's helped them a ton to have a true number 1 wide receiver like Fritterer McMillan who you can roll with. Bryce being like a 4 situation guy. I'll work on the actual verbiage. We'll have to workshop that. A level 4 situational quarterback, you have to decide if that's good enough. Especially in a world where we don't pay quarterbacks on a sliding scale. Right? It's not there is no $30 million quarterback anymore. You are either a backup making 15 or less, or you are a starter making 45 or more. Like, there is no middle ground there. And if that's the decision, I'm not ready to go to the yes, he's one of the 45 or more $1 million quarterbacks. I'm far from that. But the good news is he's got a more on-ramp. There's no reason to pull him anytime soon. And I'm getting closer to saying pick up his 5th-year option. Not there yet, but I'm getting closer. You don't have to make that decision until the offseason, so don't make it till the offseason. And I do you know what's funny about sports?
What's that?
Like I think it was like the numbers we use are Arabic numerals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometime like centuries ago, the whoever made the numerals, right, just count by tens. You know, these round numbers are what they are. It's completely arbitrary, right? Although math will tell you there's reasons for it. Like 300 passing yards is just a number, right? It's just like a ridiculous threshold. I need to see him throw for 300 yards a few times. You know, the difference between 275 and 310 could be like one screen where they break a tackle and pick it up. I need to see him throw for 300 yards a few times, like within a month. Because the best quarterbacks that I know can do that pretty consistently when they need to. And until they do, I just go, I don't get it. Right? I need to see him throw for 300. It's like 1,000 yards as a running back, right? The difference between 980 and 1,020 is nothing, but it matters, and I don't know why.
And Bryce is, I think, 28th or 29th in the NFL in yards per game passing right now.
And make no mistake about it, some of those earlier games are weighing down some averages. Like when you look at EPA per play, estimated points added per drop back and stuff. Like he had some clunkers that you would hope, as he plays more consistently good for a long time, those averages will come up. But yeah, I mean, you're completely right. On the season, he has not been a top half of the league quarterback.
He's been over 200 yards once.
I need to see him get 3. Like before we even entertain conversations about him, you know, oh, you were wrong in all of your criticisms, which I'll raise my hand when I'm wrong. I was wrong on the Panthers, at least thus far. I'm not conceding I was wrong on Bryce. More conceding I was wrong on the situation around him that can buoy him to, 3 out of 4 wins against some rough teams. And by the way, the Jets they could be described as rough as well. They got another opportunity for a win, this one on the road, which would be their first.